Good morning and welcome to another edition of Money Talks with Stephen Dedricks here on Radio Kidnappers. Great thank you and gratitude go to Jill and Ken for putting the program together and making me sound good, and also to our sponsors, because without them many of our programs wouldn't be able to be aired to you. So you may have heard the show the past couple of weeks, and we had there was a focus on lockdown and what people were doing out of lockdown. We had Darren Strongman from Monica Loves on the show last, and they interesting couple who right out of lockdown went and opened a cocktail bar straight into hospitality right after level 4 lockdown. So quite brave of them, but they're doing quite well. And on today's show, we've got Camille Pruckmuller from Koryo Tae Kwon Do, and that's along a similar vein, because coming out of lockdown, Camille decided, well, let's just expand the business and employ some more staff, and we'll just leave lockdown where lockdown is. So so we have Camille here, and Camille's been started Taekwondo at the age of 23. When she went to a women's defense class and never looked back.
Yep.
And she's currently a 4th dan. So there's just so many places to start and talk with, Camille. But let's start with this one. So you're 57 years old. You've lived longer than what you're realistically going to live.
Yep.
So, and you quite secured financially, and you have some grandkids. Why would you then go, well, let's start employing people and franchise my business and also open new branches myself all around the country at this stage of your life?
Call me crazy.
Yes.
Well, basically, it's a goal that I set myself quite a few years ago. After learning Taekwondo and picking that up, I feel there's a need for it out there in the community. So, yeah, it's just been in the back of my mind, and I suppose sitting around in COVID, I had too much time on my hands. And so let's just do it. And I'm just one of those people that, can get knocked down but get back up again.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's good. Yeah. So we'll go back to the women's self-defense class. What led you there?
Oh, well, that's actually a really good turning point in my life, because I was a young solo mum and felt like there's just something missing in my life and I needed to do something for myself. And I saw a free ad, self-defense, change your life, meet new friends. So I went along, and after a couple of weeks of the free class, my instructor at the time, George, he said to me, "You've got a bit of a natural talent, and I'd like you to stay on." And yeah, that was in 1983.
Oh, okay. So it's at almost
37 years ago.
37 years ago.
Yeah, just the other day, really.
Yeah, just the other day. No, that's good. And so just changing your life and that, and I guess that's part of the 5 tenets in Taekwondo. So can you tell us a bit about that, and and what's being taught through Taekwondo?
Yeah, well, everybody's journey is different. So for me, like I said, it was to change my life and my track that I was going on. And I did come off a couple of times and back on and straighten myself out and pick myself up. And Taekwondo always brought me back to the 5 tenets of integrity. The perseverance was a big one, because by now I've got 2 children. Indomitable spirit, the self-defense was really good, and just looking after number 1 is a big one.
That's right.
So once I got that back on track, and then I met the man that I'm married to today, and altogether have 4 children. So it just kept me grounded, made me look in a different way of what I was doing, what I was wanting in life, as well as getting fit. And then I started teaching my friends and their families, and actually while I was pregnant and training, the instructor said to me, you can teach those kids at the back, because I couldn't run around like I usually did. And that's where I found I had a little bit of a niche there with young children and teaching them My own didn't listen to me, but everyone else's did.
Oh, that's normally the case.
Yes, yeah. So my instructor was quite happy for me to attend classes whilst I was pregnant, right up to 9 months, and teaching the young ones while he had the older kids, and the pregnancy was the best pregnancies as well. So I was a lot fitter in my mind as well. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So is it then in the through the teaching of Taekwondo that children learn, and also adults, because you have adults that also come to your class? Is that where they learn the like the 5 tenets, of course, but just how to improve their lives in different areas? Or
yes, yeah, sure. Certainly, everyone that comes through the door is different. They have a different ability, age. We have kids and adults with disabilities, and we just adapt the Taekwondo to it. That's what I love about it, is you don't have to be Bruce Lee. You can be 57 and sometimes forget what day it is, but you can still do it. It doesn't matter. It's what's in your heart, in your head, if you like, and where your integrity is. So, if your integrity is there and you're doing the right thing, then everything just falls into place.
Oh, okay, so you mentioned kids with disabilities. So as you say, of the young children, then adults, and another category for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So how do they find it, and how do the parents tell you about an improvement that they've seen in the kids? Or
oh, definitely, yes, yeah. So when they join up, the parents usually say, little Johnny's got one side of his body doesn't work properly.
Yep.
We're getting medical advice. So straight away I just find out what his strengths are, and we work on that, and then we build on the weaknesses. So it's no point focusing on the weak part, but we build up the strong part to make them feel part of the team, part of the family, and before you know it, they don't have any disability.
Okay.
They are just awesome as well as everyone else. And we've got adults with Down syndrome, alcohol fetal syndrome, ADHD, you name it. They all come through the door.
Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's good that you look after a whole of body approach.
Yeah,
Say you don't just look at the weaknesses, you look at their strengths as well.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. So just with, I know there's lots of martial arts out there. So with Taekwondo, and how is that different to other sports like, say, karate, or I don't know if I should say that in the same sentence.
No,
but
that's right.
yeah, can you just explain what the differences are?
Yeah, so I think the difference is the person. So anybody can go to any other martial art or sport, and you can be great at it. But when you're doing the Taekwondo, for instance, if your integrity's not there, then you're not going to be good at it. But you might go to another style of martial art and be great at that. So it's the person. You can take, for instance, if you've got a Olympic sports person who may be a rower, right? So they're amazing at rowing. They come in to train in Taekwondo, and they can already do the splits, or their physical fitness is way up there.
Yep.
Whereas some people who have been training for years can't do the splits, and they're not very fit.
Right.
But it just all comes back to integrity. And I find that if people don't have the right integrity to do my style of Taekwondo, they don't last very long. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
But I've got a first dan black belt in Kyokushin karate as well. So I went the full hog and learnt the other martial art, which is different to Taekwondo. So when people ask me the difference, I can tell them.
That's quite unusual for someone to have a black to get a black belt in one, I guess, one stream of martial art, but you've got it in two.
Yeah. It's very rare, and also being a female to do that as well.
Oh, that's
but
good.
I had a point to prove, and that's what I'm into.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So, just going back to your business and expanding it and things. Just so. How did you? Where are your dojos located? Before we go on to that.
Okay, so more recently, just coming out of COVID, a little light bulb went on, and we've opened up not only in Hastings, but we've got Havelock North runs out of the Scout Hall, and that's with one of my black belt instructors, Mac. Now he comes from a Thai kickboxing background,
Right.
but he converted over to Taekwondo, and he has a good mixture of both.
Huh?
So if you're a teen or an adult that likes a little bit more harder fighting training, then Mac's the man.
Okay.
And then we've got Green Meadows with Rebecca. Rebecca's a second dan black belt from, got to get this right, Hong Kong. Hong Kong, and her husband are here on a working visa.
Right.
So she's come on board with me, been training, and I've taught her how to take the classes, and she's up and running in Green Meadows. And
whereabouts in Green Meadows?
so she's at the Green Meadows Community Hall.
Right,
And
okay.
Tate Drive. Yeah, and both Mac and her on Wednesday and Fridays, and then our Hastings club runs 6 days of the week.
Okay.
So I've also got instructors in Auckland.
Yep.
First dan is John, and he'll be opening up early November.
Right.
And then in Taranaki South is Anthony Dunn, who's come all the way from Whangarei to Hastings, and now he's moved to Taranaki. So he's got a black belt in the ITF Taekwondo, which is a different style to the one I do.
Right.
But he's learning our way and grading in our style as well, so he can teach either or. So yeah.
All right.
We're not prejudiced to any martial art. We love it. We just do it.
Okay. And then in Hastings, so is it just you that teaches here, and everybody else, your other employees, teach at the other?
No, I've been very lucky to meet Grandmaster Yan Chang Yang. So we call him Master Yang. He likes that. And he's come over from Korea on a working visa. So I've employed him, and he brings some really good ancient structure, if you like, with the South Korean Taekwondo military background. So there's no nonsense, which he had to adapt for our New Zealand lifestyle because of our
our relaxed,
our relaxed, how's it going, bro, kind of atmosphere, and so he's kind of adapted to that, but also saying that all my students have picked it up, and we're a lot more respectful.
Right.
So
Okay, so Grandmaster, so what level is he at then?
So he is 7th Dan as Grandmaster. I'm 4th Dan, which is Master. And in July this year, both him and I were supposed to go to Korea.
Yep.
One for him to go to 8th Dan, and myself to go for 5th. So, but COVID put a stop to that. So, it doesn't really matter. We will get there.
Right. So do you, like for the grading, because you're 4th Dan, so you can go around and grade people as well?
Yes.
And grade you? Okay, great. Right.
Yeah.
So it's only when you get to like that top levels that you've got to go overseas or something, or is it just because we don't have that in New Zealand?
We don't have anyone, like if Master Young was 8th Dan, he can grade me.
Right.
And there's also another master up in Auckland, but he's in a different style. So, we're part of the World Taekwondo, and also the Cookie Won, which is the headquarters in South Korea. So our club has got everything on hand. We're part of a bigger umbrella of the world, and we also run we train the Olympic style of fighting. So it's all padded up. It's more sport and points rather than just go and knock your partner out. You can do that, but it's more about the points, and when we're training in our clubs here, we always just make sure everyone's safety first, because as an adult you've got to get up and go to work the next day, and if you're on computers you don't want broken fingers or you don't want a concussion. So yes, safety first always, but it is a lethal martial art at the end of the day, so you've got to be careful.
Okay. So the Olympic style, or rather for Olympic style, anybody who's like thinking of going that way, they could come and train with you or
Definitely.
at the Dojang.
Yeah.
No, that's good to know.
And if you're not into the fighting side of it, there's the pumse, which is the patterns you perform on the floor.
Right.
You know, and they get harder and harder as you get closer to your black belt, and they're done with perfection and power and speed. So, and it goes on each individual person, not one category.
Okay.
So we grade in all sorts of different belts.
Yep.
So you got to be your best that you can be, and compete against other people. And just during COVID, we had competitions online through Zoom.
Yep.
And we took away 2 silvers and a bronze.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So that was really exciting. So
Yeah.
so we're doing something right.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. And then with the grading, because you say Master Young will be going up to 8th. What's the top level?
So 9 is the top,
right.
and there is I call it a complimentary 10th, because you're roughly in your 90s by then, and I don't know what I'd be able to do when I'm 90, maybe wave my stick at someone.
Yes.
And yeah, so 9th Dana, so he's pretty high. And in Korea, he ran his own dojang business of 10 or more dojangs, 10 or more masters that he had under him. So
okay, so he's
a lot of
good
people.
person to have with you in your business, and especially for growing it.
Yeah. And something really interesting he told me the other day was there's 5 million 4th Dan black belts in Korea.
Wow.
5 million.
That's a lot.
And those are the only ones that are actually registered. So in New Zealand, there's 5 million people.
Yes, so that,
And I think 63 4th Dan black belts.
Wow.
And I'm one of them. So there's only about 5 ladies in New Zealand.
So we in the Hawke's Bay are pretty privileged to
We're
have
very
you.
privileged to have, hands-on experts like myself and Master Young. So, yeah.
So let's just get back to expanding the business and out of lockdown and COVID. So you then had to, because you've opened in Green Meadows and Havelock, and even your own Dojang in Hastings. How have you found dealing with the landlords and the suppliers and that after COVID, and especially with you never know if we go down to levels again, and you deal with people. So if it's a lockdown, even on it, say 2 or 3, level 2 or 3, we'd have to shut down and you can no longer teach. You'd have to maybe do online. So how has the landlords taken to that?
So the landlords really didn't give anything. So we just had to keep paying them, and of course the wages had to keep coming out. So we managed to get that all done through the grant, through the tax, and having a good accountant helps. And the Zoom meeting. So at home I'd prepare a class for the day and then put it up on either Facebook with the kids or do a Zoom class, and we have other clubs around New Zealand that were doing the same thing, and you could tune into them, and so it's always positive. Every day was positive, even if you didn't see anybody. It was good. One stage I was out on my front lawn skipping up and down the street, and the neighbours were watching me like, "What are you doing?" I was making a video, and sorry. So what was the question? So landlord. Yes, the landlords. And it was quite daunting, because not only that, but the suppliers closed down, because they. The ones overseas I was dealing with, they couldn't ship anything, they couldn't work, some from Korea, some from China, so obviously those countries were really big impact on the COVID. So I've come back to using an Auckland martial arts supplier, which I've been doing for over 10 years now, but she didn't always have what I wanted, and so she's doing better out of me now.
Oh, that's
so
good.
I'm buying more from her, and so so she's on board with me as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
that's
I've kind of there's and local businesses like the accounting, the marketing, it's all coming together, and we're working together. So everyone's got something to do.
Okay, that's good. So because when you're expanding like this, the marketing and the communications is quite a good, a big thing.
It is.
Okay, so just we're almost at the end.
Yep.
But so what type of programs are you having? And I know that we're coming up with holidays, and I know there's going to be some sort of cricket program because my daughter's all excited about it.
Yes, yes.
So do you have anything for that you do with your students that can help the parents out there? Because there's that thing with leading up to Christmas, and then after Christmas, some parents go to work,
Yep.
and but you still have to deal with the children because there's maybe another 5 weeks before they go to school. So do you guys do that?
Yes,
programs?
yeah, we do holiday program, and this year, leading up to Christmas, we finish on the 18th, and then a couple of weeks off. So early January to early Feb, we'll have a holiday program where you can register your children for an hour to the whole day, and it's more than just Taekwondo. It's games, it's fitness, it's outings, and we go from there. Ages 5 and up, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, outings too. That's pretty good. So,
we go to the skate park. Sometimes we go to the spa pools, just
Right.
depending on the children and numbers. And
Yep.
and so we just set a price according to what we're going to be doing for that week. So, so if it costs anything, then the parents come on board with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. So then if people want to get in touch as well with you, say like they just call your number or...
Yep, they can just pop into the Dojo in
right.
Market Street.
Is that where in Market Street?
So it's just opposite the ASB Bank. It's 128 Market Street North.
Right.
And we're usually there open from 3:30 till 7:30 every day, and
Yep.
Saturday mornings, but not this weekend because it's Labour weekend. Or you can find me on Facebook.
Yep.
Yep, I'm pretty easy to find out there in the community.
Okay. Yeah.
as
So
well.
it's the Koryo Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook
so yeah,
book
Koryo,
page.
Koryo Facebook,
Yep.
and Koryo just came to me. The name Koryo is just a quick history. Is the ancient name of Korea, South Korea,
Oh, right. Okay.
and it was a city in Korea,
Yep.
and it's now called Koryo.
Wow.
Yeah, Koryo with a G, but ancient was K, Koryo.
Koryo.
And it just means a person on a journey
Right.
of the righteous martial art way.
Okay.
So how easy is that?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in and
Thank you.
sharing your story with us. It's really refreshing to see that even in Hastings and the broader Hawke's Bay, that even as we're coming a good couple of months out of lockdown now, but we still have a couple of cases in the community at the moment. But there's still people out there that are looking at a brighter future, at looking at expanding their business and the things that they're doing, and also employing people and providing a good education for our children.
Yep.
So thank you for coming along today. So this is Camille from Koryo Tae Kwon Do in Hastings and Green Meadows and Havelock
And
North.
Havelock, yeah.
Yep.
The world.
The world. Oh, yes. So thank you for tuning in, and this is Stephen Diedrichs from Money Talks here on Radio Kidnappers. Thank you, and enjoy your day.